for the sub. We're building something. KB Browns, I'm trying to tell you. Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. I want to welcome you to tonight's edition of Word on Fire. Listen, I am the spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and it's so good to be with you this evening. That song by Regina K. Sims, of course, she's my friend and she's my sister, and I love me some her. But I'm telling you, it won't be this way always. Always blesses my heart and my soul, as I hope that it does you as well. Because truly, it won't be this way always. You told your coworkers this morning, sometimes we have to encourage ourselves in the Lord, KB Browns. Come on in here and talk to me tonight. This is the Bible study of Accepted Ministries. And I tell you what, I'm excited. I'm very, very excited about what God is doing in this hour. I'm so glad to see each of you. I want to stop and acknowledge you that are actually in my my chat here in Twitch. And I see some of you in YouTube. I see some of you Facebook. So I appreciate you all for coming in. I thank you for taking the time this evening to be a part of Word on Fire. And I just want to get right into the word, if I might. Now, to give us an update, last week we started with the idea of Jesus when he was being tempted in the wilderness and how he went through the fast. And we talked about the need to really discipline ourselves, the need to, and this is the year of you. That's what I've been talking about all this year and will continue to talk through the rest of this year. We've taken time to develop, cultivate, think about this, that, and the other. But this year I've said, we're just going to stop, slow down, and concentrate on ourselves this year. So as we begin to talk, good morning, Keith. Good evening, Keith. I see you there. It's good to see you. And I'm glad that you're here for the enlightenment. Let's shine the light. Now, as I said, discipline, the very core word of being a disciple is that there is discipline involved. And this is something that I dealt with and began to share. I know that in my personal journey with the Lord, as a very, very young person in my youth, not just because it was something that the church did, but I had that spiritual connection and journey with God where God would put me independently on spans of time where I would fast. And again, as I said, I'm just going to highlight and bring everybody up to date that may have missed last week. Fasting is not just a matter of doing away from food, but fasting is that discipline where you begin to abstain from various things. I found that food and doing without food did not bother me. That was just my natural makeup and demeanor. It didn't bother me to do without food. Whereas I have some friends, honey, if they get hangry, that's hungry and angry together. If they get hangry by 8 o'clock, if they've not had a bite of food to eat, they are going to go through all kind of metamorphosis and changes. That was not my experience at all. So what I found myself doing was my fast consisted of an additional scenario of the things that I loved and discipline myself to abstain from those things. In my youth, that was childhood, telephone and television. So those were things that I also began to curtail and cut from my time of fasting. As I said on last week, a lot of times I would actually be in a fast and didn't realize it until I was actually into it. And it was like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on. And that shift would just naturally occur, organically occur. And so that I share because so many times people get very legalistic, they get very ritualistic. And at the end of the day, you're just doing without food or doing without whatever it is you've chosen to do without. And while I'm not minimizing that, that's what you used to do for Lent. I hear you talking. One reason. I'm not minimizing that. At the end of the day, what I want us to understand, I'm moving and pushing us towards a place of spirituality, not mere doing things, saying things, acting and carrying out certain activities or not. I want us to move into a place where we move by the Spirit. So that's what I want. Listen, sometimes you go days without eating by accident. Come on, one reason. That was me too. And so, I would do 3 days, 7 day and longer fast as a child. And my parents did not try to discourage me from that at all. And so it was not a negative situation. It wasn't something that I tried to, make a big deal about either and saying, I'm getting ready to do this. I'm getting ready to do that. And as the Bible said, you don't disfigure your face and look like you all tore up from the flow up so that everybody can know know that you're fasting, because the Bible says you have your reward already if you're just doing it so people can say, oh my God. No, you already missed the point. It's something that's done just between you and God, in my opinion. And it's something that for various purposes that God knows and you will either know and or be revealed. It's just something that's going on between you and God. So it doesn't really require or demand, and I would almost say move away from the idea of telling everybody, I'm on a fast. When people walk up to me, I'm fasting today. I just, okay, because I'm like, okay, you don't need to tell everybody you're fasting. Now, that discipline, however, is what we're after. Getting to that point where you are able to bring your flesh under control and under subjection. And again, this is something I would say today's times is very absent in what we call our spiritual journey. So when you look at people that talk about meditation, when you look at people that even do yoga, because again, I have all faith traditions here. It's not just Christian, even though I teach from a heavier element and aspect of Christian principle, because that is the journey that I have, but everyone is welcome in this stream. So others that are of other faith traditions may utilize other means of bringing their flesh under subjection. But you'll find typically some element of this in almost all faith traditions. So again, the idea is that I am able to bring my flesh under subjection and under control. If you don't control it, it will control you. Now, what we see, and that's just the overview. If you want to go back and hear, you can get the on demand of last week. But I want to move on. Just wanted to bridge that gap and bring everybody current and up to date. Moving on to chapter 6, I'm teaching from The Complete Sayings of Jesus by Arthur Hines. Arthurhinds is the author's name, Arthur Hines. I'm on chapter 6, and the whole idea of this book is to highlight everything that Jesus said. Because for those that this may be your first time here, again, we talk about what everybody else said, but I'm always more interested about what did Jesus say, because others got off, but Jesus is on point. Now, tonight, we start with, after Jesus has come off of that fasting situation, after he's been baptized and then goes into the wilderness and comes out. Now people start finding him attractive. Okay, hear what I'm saying. Now people start finding him attractive. John the Baptist tells his disciples, John had followers of his own while he was baptizing in the River Jordan. He had disciples that were following him. And if you remember when John baptized Jesus, he said he must increase, speaking of Jesus, and I must decrease, because John the Baptist realized that his time of baptizing in the River Jordan was coming to an end, because he was that voice of one crying in the wilderness. Now, that being said, I'm so glad that Sheila Stillman is here tonight. And several of you I've talked to since we've not been streaming. Some of you have been calling and or texting, and I've been having conversation and communion and communications with you outside of the time of me streaming. And I'm just really enjoying that as well. Today, Sheila Stillman sent me something. And she was right on point, even though I don't think she knew this is where we were tonight. She was just talking. But she's reading a whole different book and identified. Yuda, come on in here. So much love to you. I appreciate you. And thank you for raiding with one. Come on in with that one woman raid. So good to have you. She said, as she was reading the book that she's reading, it occurred to her, because, I'm talking and consistently pushing the understanding of frequency. I talked about that on last week. I'm not going to go back and recapture all of that. But again, as I said, they begin to uncover that what they thought was driven by electricity, they're now finding it's not electricity that drives those things, but it's frequency. Not electricity that drives those things, but frequency. So as we begin to talk about paying attention to what frequency you're on, And your frequency is very simply dictated by what is it that you do? What is it that you say? What is it that you think about? What are your behavioral patterns? That's your frequency. You can tell yourself all day long, I'm operating at this high frequency, at this high level of whatever. But what you're actually doing and what you're actually manifesting, that is your frequency. Now, ascribe to go higher, absolutely. But don't lie to yourself that you're operating at a higher frequency than you are. Because how do you know? Just step back and take a look. What is your frequency? And that's going to tell you exactly who, what, where, when, why, and how you are operating. Now, Sheila said something that really, really blessed me. And she was talking about how she realized that John the Baptist was upping the frequency. And I love that. I love that. I love that. So let's look at it from this perspective. So we had all the way back in the Garden of Eden, we had Adam and Eve who were operating at just the ultimate frequency. Then we have sin that entered the earth, and sin is when you operate out of sync and out of frequency. So we see them from operating at this ultimate premium, and now they drop all the way down from the uppermost to the guttermost, and that frequency just trashes and tanks all the way down to zero. Now, as we've been journeying through the centuries, through even before the law, we saw Cain and Abel offering sacrifice and trying to create a religious practice. Then we came on to the order of Melchizedek. Then we saw Moses as the lawgiver. We saw all of these different things that are taking place. The frequency is steadily trying to increase itself back. Now, the problem that we have, however, is that so many times as we try to increase our frequency, we start bringing our own baggage. We start bringing our own ideas. We start bringing our own junk and then wanting to impose that on other people. That's the problem. Now, if you have a walk with God, that God is telling you to do X, Y, and Z, you do X, Y, and Z. The problem becomes when you want to turn around and tell everybody else they have to do X, Y, and Z. Therein lies the problem, and therein we move from spirituality into a place of religiosity. And God's not looking for religious folk. God is looking for folks that have a relationship with him. That's what spirituality is. When you come into a place where you have relationship with God. And I want us to be clear on that. And, people say, all these folks come talking about the difference between spirituality and religion is one and the same. No, it's not. Jesus, or the Bible even says in one point, it's not Jesus, but the Bible says pure religion and undefiled before God is this. And it starts talking about taking care of the widows and the fatherless. And it surely ain't the stuff that we're calling religion. But at the end of the day, when you start talking about actually coming into a place of spirituality, we're talking about having a relationship one-on-one with God. Now, I want to highlight that because tonight, as we move into chapter 6, there are some things as we're going, raising the frequency. We're constantly raising. We saw John the Baptist, and he knew he wasn't the one. He knew that he was the one that was preparing the way for others to come. And God knows how to speak to each individual, KB Browns, that part right there. God knows how to speak to each individual, just like we all have individual fingerprints, just like no snowflake is two same identical snowflakes. There's individuality that God has made the beauty of his creation, but we try to rubber stamp people into Dolly. Y'all remember the sheep that they cloned? We try to clone folks and make them Dolly. So understand that God deals with us on an individual basis. That is just a basic premise that I hope people could get back to, but I know you've been indoctrinated otherwise. Now, so at the end of the day, we see Jesus coming now, and people are being drawn to him. I want you to understand, beloved, that as you take this journey, and as you come into your spirituality almost makes you magnetic. Your spirituality will make you magnetic. It will draw people to you. Hear me when I say this. You're going to start coming into places like you go in the barber shop and all of a sudden everybody's gathering around. You go, I know when I was traveling extensively back in the day, and I had those that would travel with me. My mom would always go with me, and then I had a couple of others, and I would say to them when I would get pulled away into my room, even in my room, the people that came in to do room service, next thing I know, I'm in ministry. Listen, your spirituality makes you magnetic, Yuta. It makes you magnetic. Just expect it. Don't be surprised by it. I would go down to get food in the dining room, and the cooks and the servers. I mean, it was like, can I go anywhere? But I also understood that when you start moving in that spiritual realm, it will begin to draw people to you. That's why it really is important that you have self-control, under control, before you step out and jump out and start trying to do anything so-called in the name of God. So I want us to pay attention. Now, my emphasis throughout this teaching are the words of Jesus, not so much everything else that's going on. So I'm going to move on the premise of what Jesus is saying, not so much I'm going to give you an outline and a background of what's going on, but that's not going to be my emphasis. So when John realizes that, you know, he's declaring and decreeing the Lamb of God, which takes away the sins of the world, and he's actually even speaking to his own disciples that have been following him, and he starts to direct them towards Jesus. Now, so we see, and that's when, you know, folks are not immature, they're not braggadocious and egocentric. When you have John, who has been the dominant, prominent, who can say he must increase, but I must decrease, and then start sending your disciples to follow Jesus. I promise you, you're not going to hardly find that in today's time. Because listen, if anything, the pastors and the preachers and the evangelists are going to come into your congregation and group and try to siphon and draw your folks off to them versus the reverse of that. But we see John the Baptist, because he is spiritual and he is full of the Holy Ghost. We see John sending his disciples to Jesus. So as we see, two of the first that start going, John says, listen, I baptize you with water, but the one that stands among you, listen, I'm not even worthy to unloose his hands, his shoes rather. Now, then the next day, John stood, and two of John's disciples start looking at Jesus. And John said to them, to the disciples, behold, the Lamb of God, which takes away the sin of the world. So he's making this declaration not only openly, but he's also encouraging his disciples and telling them, as they're looking at Jesus, this is who I've been talking about. This is who all this about. So then we see the two disciples heard John speaking, and they followed Jesus. And when Jesus saw them following him, this is the first thing we see Jesus speaking in this chapter. What seek ye? Excuse me. What seek ye? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What you looking for? That's what Kirk Franklin said. What you looking for? Hey, what you looking for? What are you looking for, and what are you seeking? And I'm saying this once more and again to us, because just as Jesus operated and just as Jesus maneuvered, I want you to begin to model yourself after that pattern. Don't model, you all, we've seen so much time of people trying to model themselves after. I almost stopped watching religious TV because their mannerisms are the same. The stuff that they say is the same. You can almost guarantee, and it just drives me up a wall, because I'm like, that's not the way you talk. That's not the way you speak. Be yourself. But they'll find whomever they think is the dominant, prominent of the day, and all of a sudden you get all these clones coming out. Listen, you need to be able to stop and say, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? As people begin to find themselves drawn and attracted to and it's really the God in you. When you see that, what are you looking for? Because people come with all kinds of purposes and all kinds of ulterior motives. Please believe that. They'll come with all kind of purposes and all kind of ulterior motives. Can I even say to some of you, as you begin to launch out, and not to plant a seed of distrust, but I do want you to pay attention, because there are going to be those, everybody on your side is not on your side. There are some folks that are on your side to get the intel. Understand what I'm saying? They're there to get the information. They're there to get the game plan. They're there to get the 411. They're there to figure it out. Some of them are there to try to figure out your weaknesses. Some of them are there to try to make you stumble and fall. Some of them are there to try to make you look bad and then go out and tell everybody this, that, and the other about you. I want you to be clear on that. I'm talking, Joanna. I'm telling you all truth. I want you to really stop and follow this same pattern of Jesus. What seek you? Why are you here? And I want you to stop and not just automatically, oh my God, people are drawn to me. Oh my God. Because listen, everybody that's in your face does not necessarily. Snakes are sneaky, Keith. Snakes are sneaky. So at the end of the day, I want you to be watchful. What do I always used to say on Yes You Oak Cube? Pay attention. Pay attention, because everybody that's up in your face is not there for what you might think. So listen, and this is where I want, if I can share some wisdom, because sometimes I just let folks ride along until they, I talked the other week about the wheat and the tares and how wheat and tares look alike. But as my father used to teach, wheat has fruit on it, it has kernels on it, and as those kernels grow and mature, that wheat will start to humble and bow down, whereas that tare that has nothing on it, it's going to be standing and sticking straight up. Sometimes you just need to let folks ride with you till they show their own true colors. You hear what I'm saying? Let them ride with you until they show their own true colors. Don't make any verbalized assumptions, statements, or whatever. Just let them show themselves. And that way, once they have shown themselves, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay. Once they have shown themselves, and then what did my sister tell you? When people show you who they are, MCP 812, when people show you who they are, and they will, believe them. That's where I don't want you all to get into what too many times we've done in the church arena, where we see something, but we don't want to believe it for what it is. We hear something, but we don't want to hear it for what it is. People are saying and manifesting, but we don't want to believe it for what it is. When you see it, believe it. And move from there. And as the old folks used to say, govern yourselves accordingly. God, chick, thank you for that resub. Yes, and who else did? I think Joanna G, thank you for that resub. We're building something. It's good to see you tonight. So, right off the bat, when folks start coming up in your space, even if you don't say it with your lips, I want your energy to say, what seek ye? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Listen, and can I say this? Because there's some folks that are riding with you because they see success on you. They see success on you. And so they'll ride with you so that when you hit your success, boom, there I am. They're not riding with you for you. They're riding with you for your success. So I want you to take this energy and be clear. What seek ye? Then the next thing we see, they said, Master, a rabbi, where do you live? Now, I'm going to come here for a second. And this is the next thing that Jesus said. The first thing he says, what seek ye? What is it that you want? What are you looking for? Then the second thing he says, come and see. And I want you to understand this. If you cannot let your life be an open book before people. Now, I'm not saying tell them all your business and all your private stuff. And no, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you can't let folks come see where you really live, if you can't let folks, and I'm going to make this analogy when he says to them, where do you live? And he says to them, come and see. And so immediately they went and stayed with him for the whole day where he lived. They went where he stayed and stayed there the whole entire day where he lived, because he said, come and see. Now, it's almost like, there are those that may not be the tidiest housekeepers, and they want you to call before you show up, not because it's all that big of a deal. Don't just show up at my house. They want you to call before you show up because they need to clean the house before you get there. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? They need to tidy it up. They need to clean it up because they don't want to be shamed when you show up at the house and they see how you live. And you always find people want to put their best foot forward with people that they feel like they have to put on airs. When you got people that you want them to perceive you a certain way and think of you in a certain, from a certain vantage point and mindset. Yes, call me before you come. What time you gonna get here? Because they'll spend all day long. They'll stay up all night long cleaning that house before you get there, because they cannot say, like Jesus said to them, out here walking and talking amongst the people. And he says, hey, you want to see where I live? Come and see. I would say, come on, Keith, show them your spirit, but don't be naive. Come on and talk to me. Y'all talking to me tonight. So at the end of the day, this is something that we have to really, really begin to identify. Am I a mess, and am I a wreck, and am I tore up that before anybody, I can't say on a whim, come and see. You should be carrying yourself, and you should be living your life in a way that if anybody that's really genuinely inquiring and wanting to know for real facts, for real truth, that really want to understand the frequency, because I'm going to keep talking about frequency. If they really want to understand your frequency, you should be able at any point on a whim be able to say, come and see. It's not pretend. It's not make believe. It's not, this is the way I am in front of the people, but this is the way I am behind closed doors, or this is the way I am here, there. And I understand having different levels of relationships with different people. I understand that, but I'm talking about just you as a person of character. You as a person of your character and who you really are. People should be able to come in your dwelling place where you inhabit, the space where you dwell, your mindset, your energy, all of that. People should be able to encounter that, and you should be able to say the second thing that Jesus said, come and see. Because I hope that what I'm exhibiting before you and the frequency that I'm operating from is attractive enough that whatever you're still working out and working up in your life, that you can actually take part and say, okay, and I'm not saying clone, but I'm saying, can you see something in me that makes you want to be a better person? Can you see something in me that wants you to reach for more? Can you see something in me that maybe you say, hey, I can incorporate that in some way in my life for a greater good? Can you see? Come and see. I want us to get to a point spiritually, and again, I'm talking more so about spirituality than anything, but then at the same time, let's go here. Am I handling my finances so I can tell anybody, come and see? Am I handling my family in a way that I could tell anybody, come and see? Am I handling my job and my career or my entrepreneurship in a way that I'm saying? So I'm saying all the way across the board. I'm not just trying to be woo spiritual, woo scary, but I'm saying all the way across the board. Am I doing something? Am I caring? Do I have an energy that's infectious? Do I have something that's enough to make people to want to come and see how I live? And this is how we're going to begin to heal the world, when we can actually say, look on us. Look on me. Come on, KB Browns. Look on us. Silver and gold have I none. That's what Peter and James and John said on the way into the. But silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, give I unto thee. So at the end of the day, I want us to be able to say, come and see. So they went and spent the day with him. Now, out of those two, Andrew was one of them, and we don't know who the other of John's. This is John the Baptist. Andrew was one of John the Baptist's disciples, and the other one, we don't know who that was. But then Andrew goes and gets his brother Simon Peter. Why? Because when they came to the house and they spent the day with him, it was something that said, I want that. And this is a challenge to so-called church right now. The fact that nobody wants it is a testament that we on the wrong track. I said what I said, and I'll add to it before I take it back. The fact that nobody wants what we so-called have is an indictment that we're on the wrong track. Because when Jesus said, what are you looking for? And they're like, listen, where do you live? We want to see where you live at. And he said, come and see. When they got there and saw whatever it was they saw, they liked it. And not only did they like it, they went and started telling other people about it. Hear me when I say this. They started telling other people about it, and then those other people started bringing other people. So this part right here. Now, so Andrew goes and gets Simon Peter, and when Simon Peter gets there, then we see Jesus say the next thing. Thou art Simon the son of Jonah, thou shalt be called Cephas. Now, at this point, because again, Jesus he's already been obedient to the Spirit and being baptized. He's already been obedient by going out into the wilderness 40 days and 40 nights and disciplining himself and being prepared and being made ready to go out and do what it is he was assigned here to do. Now that he's out here and people are being attracted to him, then the next, come on, authentic frequency. You better talk to me, sis. Authentic frequency. Now, when an authentic frequency is attractive, can I just say that authentic frequency is attractive and magnetic on its own? You don't have to try to make it do. It will just automatically attract people to it. Now, so here we come to a point where now we see Jesus after he's asked them, what are you looking for? He's moving in authentic frequency and allowing them to come and see really where he lives and how he lives. Now that they start bringing extra folks, he becomes prophetic because his frequency, I want y'all to hear me, his frequency is so on point. His frequency is so that now he starts speaking into folks' lives. And I ain't talking about, all of this, we got folk running around talking about I'm prophet this. Not, listen, a whole bunch of that, honey, we got lying prophets. That's what my daddy used to say, honey. It was a whole bunch of lying prophets out here. But at the end of the day, when you start moving in this realm where he begins to speak and you got to be real. Come on, authentic frequency is huge, MCP 812. We've got to be real. And this is the thing that we understand about why the so-called church is of no effect, because the authentic frequency is missing and it is not attractive. If anything, the frequency is one that actually begins to repel, that begins to push away, that begins to push back instead of draw. I don't care how much your lips keep saying, I'll draw all men unto me. The frequency, because it is not authentic, is repelling the people instead of drawing them. Please understand that. When you move in your authentic frequency and you move in authentic frequency from a place of spirituality, it will draw. Now, so then Jesus begins to become prophetic. And I want to say this to you all, because once you get on that authentic frequency, it will allow you to be able to interpret the frequency of others. When you move into your authentic frequency spiritually, it will also help you to understand the frequency of others. And I'm going to say this, and the other day, you all know I was talking real, even when we mess up, KB Browns, even when we mess up. As a matter of fact, can I say this? Because at the end of the day, all we understand about mess up is, Sheila said this to me. Sheila Stillman said this to me the other day as we were talking about frequency. And she said this, she said, because we understand that when we look at that archery term of what sin, and I keep saying that because y'all preach so much mess on the people. Y'all just beat the people down where they never can get back up. Sin is an archery term, and it means to miss the mark. So you miss the mark there, you get another bow, you get another arrow out, you put it up, load it in the bow, you shoot again. You don't just act like, oh, I missed the mark, I'm all the way out. So Sheila said this the other day, as we were talking, as we're emphasizing frequency and understanding that it's not electricity, but frequency that's driving so much in this natural realm, first natural, then spiritual. So if we understand that really that mess up is some way, somehow you got off frequency. Somewhere, somehow, you got off frequency. All you do is tune it back up. Tune it back up. You don't have to walk away and wallow and roll and go into this, oh my God, I'm just completely, no. Tune it back up. Get back in your authentic frequency and keep it moving. It's not the time to wallow. Keep it moving. Then when you understand, it will allow you what we call discernment. And I'm telling you, there is so much a lack of discernment in these days and times is why the world is in the condition it's in, but especially the church, because there is no discernment. Number one, the folks that are in leadership can't say, come and see. Do you understand the words of that? The folks that are in leadership can't say, come and see. Much of that, because at the end of the day, if you came and saw, you would rise and listen, you'd be gone and went. If you came and saw, you'd be gone and went. Nobody, and I'm going to say this. Because even from a ministry standpoint, and I know things are moving in a totally different realm right now because God is doing a new thing, truly. But even from the standpoint of, there used to be the days and times when there was camaraderie and fellowship and communion, even amongst the ministerial brotherhood, which is no longer in existence. It's almost like, I'm not going to commune with you because I see myself in competition with you. I see myself in competition with you. I got to make sure I got the biggest congregation. I got to make sure I got the nicest car, the biggest house, the whatever. And at the end of the day, you find the ability to have real camaraderie and fellowship is almost non-existent amongst the brotherhood, much less amongst the people. There is that hierarchy that we've created where the people can't even ride in your car. The people can't even come in your house. The people can't even spend time with you, which is so much reverse from the way it used to be. Because listen, pastor used to be at fellowship at everybody's house. Pastor used to pick up folk and take them to church. Pastor used to have folks come over to the house and just have a cookout and let's eat together. It's a whole different day and time because we cannot say, come and see. That being the case, we have no discernment to be able to identify what spirit folks are of. Here we see Jesus encountering Simon Peter. I had to think of the brother's name, Simon Peter. We see him encountering Simon Peter, and he starts prophesying. He starts speaking. He starts seeing and decreeing and declaring a thing. And this is what I want you to understand. Let me say this. I'm going to say this because the other day, that's where I was starting. The other day when I was talking and we were talking about healing and being wounded and whatnot, and I really did have a particular person in mind, but I didn't call them by name. But I got a chance to talk with them later on. And the individual, because if you all remember those that were here, I was saying sometimes when you're in that healing mode, you just gotta, it's cold outside. All you can do is go out and start the car up, make sure the battery doesn't die, And I did talk to that individual later on. So, and orange covering eyes. I see you, Sheila. So at the end of the day, we had a conversation after that stream had ended, and the individual said to me, I was like, can she see me? Because she said she was literally in the car, starting the car because it was cold and the winter. She wanted to make sure that the car battery didn't go dead. And this is something I want you to understand. When you begin to move in the spiritual realm, and I want you all to hear me. We act like it's only for the preachers. No, it's not. We act like it's only for... No. If all of us were operating in our spirituality at the level that we should be, we call it here in the Lions Den, your boss energy. Get in your boss energy. Discernment will work for you. Discernment needs to work for you. How? Now, mind you, even though I had this individual in my mind, I was speaking abstractly. But even in that abstract speaking, how did the Spirit know that that individual literally at the moment that I said it was in that car, starting the car so that the battery would not be dead? Now, I'm not saying that so y'all can say, ooh, spiritual thought leader. Ooh, no. What I'm trying to say to you is that you will find yourself in places, and that's not uncommon. That's happened in my life many times with many of the people that I interact with, where I'll be talking a thing and just speaking, and the person is literally doing a thing, or I call on the phone and they're like right at that precise moment, X, Y, and Z, and I'll speak a thing. But I'm telling you, that is not just for people that are in quote unquote public ministry. That is for you. If you understand the ability that when you get in your authentic frequency, you will not constantly walk into stuff blindsided, or there will be scenarios where you're speaking to someone or interacting with someone in your environment from a place of discernment, where you begin to speak and say a thing as if you are there. I'm telling you, when the individual said was like, can she see me? Can she see me? Listen, I'm telling you, God will put you in positions when you tap into frequency, because that's the thing. It's like, okay, let me come from this angle so that maybe it can make more sense without sounding like it's really weird and whoop whoop. So like, if we all tuned into Sirius radio and tuned into the same frequency, everybody that's tuned into Sirius radio on that frequency will hear the same thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we all turn into, now we know there's AM, which is about as weak as you can get. We know there's FM, then we know there's Sirius, and we got all kind of frequencies in between. But I'm telling you, if we all went Sirius satellite, and we all tuned in the channel to the same frequency, we would all hear the same thing. I'm trying to make this thing plain so y'all can really see it for what it is. We have missed it because we've made it like only a select few people can do this and no. I just need you to get on the right frequency. I just need you to, and this is the thing, even when we talk about Jesus, we weep with those that weep. We mourn with those that mourn. We grieve with those that grieve. We rejoice with those that rejoice. Really, what is being said, get on the same frequency. I don't care if you're on the rejoicing frequency. If you're ministering to somebody that's grieving, you need to come off the rejoicing ministry and get on the grieving ministry so that you and the person can relate and hear and experience and witness and talk from the same vantage point. Simple as that. You need to get on the, and the discernment that's missing is that so many times, even in the church, people come in a state and nobody in the whole entire church is able to identify the frequency that that person is on. And so y'all done had a high time in the Lord. Y'all done hick them aside. Y'all done shouted, spit, danced, and everything else. And that person leaves out the door just as wounded, if not more so, as they were when they came in, because nobody was tuned into that frequency. Well, I'm on this frequency. I ain't coming down. Jesus understood Emmanuel, God with us, which I like to say, being interpreted, God is in it with us. If you can't get in it with the people that you're so-called ministering to, you cannot minister to them. You can't minister to somebody that you can't feel. You can't minister to someone that you can't understand. You cannot minister to someone that you cannot relate to. I don't care how many scriptures you quote. I don't care how much you speak in tongues. I don't care how you grease them down with a bottle of blessed oil. You cannot minister to people that you cannot relate to. That's real talk. And until you can get to a place where your authentic frequency is able to have discernment and know where you need to tune in, you can't minister to someone you cannot feel, Yuda. You can't do it. Otherwise, it becomes pretentious. And if anything, it's going to hurt, wound, and agitate and aggravate the person that you're so-called ministering to. I'm talking heavy in here. We go deep. I'm talking facts, KB Brown. It's going to leave them agitated, upset, irritated, because listen, there was a song Jesse Dixon put out back in the day. He said, I went to my neighbor and said, neighbor, I need your help. And the neighbor said, I can't help you, brother, because I'm looking for help myself. If you cannot identify with what the person is feeling and be able to relate and bring a ministry that's frequency to frequency, not your head knowledge, not what they taught you in theology, not what they taught you in evangelism, not what they taught you in prayer and Bible band. I need you to get on frequency. Am I talking to anybody in here? Such that I was not surprised. Now, I had no idea when the person came to my mind, and I went to the analogy because I knew we were talking about moving forward. But as I said, there are times when it's not time for you to move forward. There are times when, especially if you're in grief, especially if you've had trauma, you need to be still and heal. And I began to talk about the car and going out and just check the battery, turn it over. If you don't do anything else, bump that ignition to make sure the battery doesn't go dead. Did I know the person was sitting in the car? No, I did not. But guess what? God knew the person was sitting in the car. God knew the person was out there at that very moment turning the key. God knew the person was out there. And so when that word went forth, it made the person pay attention. Come on, Karani. Good to have you. God does things so that people can know, so that there's confirmation, so that something in their spirit is comforted, so that something in their spirit is able to connect. You understand what I'm saying? So this is where I want us to understand God doesn't do anything by accident. You got to be able, as Jesus began the next, thou art Simon, the son of Jonah, you shall be called Cephas. Then the next thing you hear him say after he has allowed them, number one, why are you here? Number two, come and see, come to my house, spend time with me, spend quality time with me, see what I'm about. Listen, see, observe. Ain't no pretense. I ain't got to go home and try to just stay in this room till I get the rest of the house cleaned up. No, come on, see, this is me, this is me, this is me. Then begin to understand the prophetic to speak. And now he says, follow me. Follow me. Follow me. And this is such a critical point because many of you, I'm going to say all of you, I'm going to use the religious term pastoral assignment, but I'm not saying it from a place of churchy, frequency to frequency, Sheila, frequency to frequency. I'm not coming from a place of churchy. Each of you have someone that is meant to follow you. Each of you have someone that you or someone's that you are meant to lead. You have been developed, designed, and put here on this earth to lead. Some of you are like, no, I'm not. No, I'm talking to you. Many of you have individuals in the neighborhood, in your family, in the various places that you frequent that are looking to you and have been waiting for you, not somebody else, for you. Come on in here, Scratch Wolf. Good evening. Waiting on you and your leadership. And the leadership is nothing more than just you being you. Come and see. This is how I live. This is the frequency that I'm on. Come and see. Come and see what a higher frequency looks like. Come and see what spirituality looks like. Come and see what genuine love looks like. Come and look and see what authentic frequency looks like. Come and see what frequency to frequency looks like. Come and see. Come on. Come on. and follow me. Follow me. Don't be afraid. And this is huge for some of you because some of you are so indoctrinated, and in your minds you have so told yourselves, I'm behind the scenes, I'm behind the scenes, I'm not. Don't be afraid to move out in this hour and say to those that are assigned to you, those that you said, what are you looking for? What seek ye? What are you looking for? Now it's time for you to start turning to those same individuals and say, follow me. You've been in the gates of hell, but it's time to come out. Follow me. You've been in the den of iniquity, but it's okay. It's all right. Follow me. You've been in the grasp of depression and despair, but come on, we come on out. Follow me. Been there, done that, but delivered. Follow me. You know, whatever it is. You've been addicted to drugs. That's okay. That's okay. And we're not looking down our nose at anybody. Come and follow me. Because there's just as many folks addicted to religion as there are folks addicted to drugs. So don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare think you're better than somebody. Don't you dare think you're better than a drug addict when you over here a churchaholic. Okay, I'm not even going to go there. Now, been there, done that, but delivered, Yuda. That's what I'm talking about. Follow me. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Your message, and your message, your ministry, where we've done that thing almost in the reverse. We want to make it sound like unless I've got a beautiful, nice little story to tell where I can put a bow on it and wrap it up and make it nice and cute and tidy, I can't. No. Listen, frequency to frequency. Somebody on those other frequencies need to know, been there, done that, but delivered. They got to know it. They need to hear it. They need to hear it raw, not painted up and fixed up. That's why I told you, I remember when I told Truck Driver, when he was doing the segment for us, I want you to understand, I told him, talk like you talk. Talk like you talk. Don't try to figure out how to say it. Don't try to word it. Don't try to make it sound like some preacher's words. Don't make it. No. Listen, I want you to say it the way that you say it. And every time Truck Driver would come on and talk, I would hear feedback, especially from men, especially from young men. I would get feedback of mothers whose sons happen to be listening, thug life devotions. Those that heard Truck Driver do thug life devotions, they were able to connect and relate. Why? Because I just need you to talk from the place that you talk. I need you to talk from the life that you've lived. I need you to express the journey that you've had, and stop trying to make it sound like unless it's nice, neat, and tidy. Yes, you can. Somebody's on that frequency. Somebody's on that frequency waiting to hear ducks that quack like they quack. They can't relate to all that other stuff. Am I talking to anybody? So don't be afraid to say, follow me. Now, we're almost done because we got just a few more words that Jesus is going to say tonight. Let me make sure, where am I at on my time? Okay, I got 8 minutes. Behold, we get him out here. He's telling them to follow him. Then he goes and Philip finds Nathanael. Now, Nathanael is not just going to take Jesus hook, line, and sinker. Matter of fact, Nathanael almost insults him. Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Now, I want to say this to you. Don't y'all wear your feelings on your sleeves, and don't hurry up and get offended. Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Child, that's an insult. He insulted the man. He insulted the Messiah, but he was authentic frequency. Y'all not going to ride with me right here. He insulted him, but he was authentic frequency. You have to be able to read when people are just trying to be nasty or what energy they're of. But this is what Jesus said after Nathanael insults him with, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Jesus says to Nathanael, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Because some of us would have went smooth off MCP 812. Some of us would have went smooth to the left. Who you think you talking to? I've even seen some of these current so-called evangelists, and they talk to these people like they're dogs. They talk to these people like they're not even human. And I'm talking about on the mic in the pulpit, and I'm like, how is the church so asleep and so deceived and so backwards and so tainted that y'all think that's okay? We would have gone smooth off, KB Brown. What you mean, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? And if I had a blessing for you, you ain't gonna get it now. I know truck's the real deal. If I had a blessing for you, I ain't gonna give it to you now. But what does Jesus say? Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Y'all got to see people's hearts. Even the folk, I told somebody the other day, I got somebody that, one of my babies, he's one of my babies. He's a genius. He really, really is. But he got some ways, y'all. He got some ways. And I was talking to one of his family members, and situation went down. I said, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to ever denounce that baby because that's my baby, Scratch Wolf. That's my baby. He's my baby. And she's, listen, whatever with your baby. I said, at the end of the day, because I know his heart. I know his heart. Come on, one reason it would be the petty pastor president. Come on, you. Behold, the Israelite indeed, in whom there is no guile. He saw him for what he was, in spite of what he said with his lips. Now, you got to come to a point, and this is the thing I said about this individual, because I said, I tell you what, in his worst, he doesn't lie to me. In his worst, he does not lie to me. If it was horrible, he'll tell me what he did, just as horrible as it was, with no sugarcoating. He'll snot, he'll cry. His mother is deceased. He said, I feel like you're like my mother that I don't have anymore, because I know you're going to tell me just like it is. I absolutely am, but I'm also going to allow you to come to me transparent. And I'm always going to have your back, because I know your heart. I don't care. And you know what I see most about that heart? Woundedness by church folk. Y'all ain't going to buy what I'm selling. I see a lot of woundedness, and I see a lot of woundedness from church folks. While everybody else judges him, I can almost say you to behold the Israelite indeed, in whom there is no guile. Y'all got to learn how to see folks' hearts. The Bible is nothing but testimonies of people operating in their frequencies, messing up, but also God's mercy and God's grace covering them. Come on, KB Brown, y'all better talk to me. Come on, Kai Chick. So at the end of the day, we see him, and then he goes back, and now he begins to talk to me. He says, but I saw you under the fig tree. Before Philip called you, I saw you sitting under the fig tree yesterday. You understand what I'm saying? That frequency that has the ability, and I ain't talking about no fat meat, greasy dreams, no fat meat, greasy visions. I'm talking about true manifestation, revelation by the Spirit of God. And I want us to begin to understand our ability to move in that realm, to see spiritually, to have discernment, and to understand. So he said, now at this point, watch what happens here. Nathanael is immediately convinced. No more questions asked. Truly, you are the Son of the living God. Jesus then asks him, and this is where we're going to close today. Jesus, he says to him, he said, because I saw you under the fig tree, believest thou? Do you believe me just because I was able to tell you what you were doing yesterday and I saw you? I'm on the same frequency to frequency. I saw you. Verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter you're going to see the heavens open and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. He said, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet, Nathaniel. What's getting ready to happen now, you're going to see the heavens open up and the angels ascending and descending. That's what I want to say to you on the Son of Man. On the Son of Man. And this is what I'm saying to you all tonight as we come into this new place. And we're looking at the complete sayings of Jesus. I'm going to go back over tonight what we covered again. His first words, what seek ye? The next words, come and see. Following with, thou art Simon, the son of Jonah, thou shalt be called Cephas. His next words, follow me. Then behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Before Philip called you under the fig tree, I saw you. And then he closes out with, because I said unto you, I saw you under the fig tree. That's why you believe. You're going to see greater things than this. And I'm saying to you, we're about to see greater things than this because we're tapping in to the right frequency. We're tapping into the authentic frequency. We're tapping into that boss energy. We're tapping into the Holy Ghost, to the Holy Spirit, wherever y'all want to go with it. We're tapping in because we're going for relationship with God, not religion. We're going for spirituality that is genuinely authentic, not traditions of men and religion. So as we move into, come on, Kai Chick, I see that boss energy. Come on, Karani, I see you. I see you. The best is yet to come. You the best. Ooh! Now, see, you done mess with me right there. The best is yet to come, Yuda. Come on, MCP 812. The complete sayings of Jesus. And that's why I say when you tune out John Studios, there's my angel. I love me some you. Good to see you tonight. This is where I say when you really start focusing in on what Jesus said and all that other stuff, it happened, it's out there. But what did Jesus say? And the significance of the things that Jesus said. If anything tonight, and the best is yet to come, that's how he closes out. But I want you to focus in on this. When Nathanael insulted him, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Jesus came back with the word of truth. You are an Israelite indeed, and there's no guile in you. There's no guile in you. You're keeping it 100. You're keeping it 100. See the difference between the way Jesus approaches it and the way that we approach it in these days and times. It's like the difference between night and day. Y'all know y'all would have got blessed out from the pulpit if y'all had done that to the pastor. Well, one reason say petty pastor. The petty pastor would have read y'all for filth. Look at what Jesus said and look at what Jesus did. And it makes all the difference in the world. And with that, I think we're coming up to the conclusion. It's 7:02. 7:02. So I just went 2 minutes over. But I hope that this is helping you. Frequency. It's all about frequency, y'all. It's about your frequency. What frequency are you operating on? And when we all get on the same frequency, just like I said, or when you get on the same frequency of those that you're operating and ministering to or speaking with, get on their frequency. This is how we begin to flow together. You're so welcome, Yuda. This is how we begin to flow together and connect. This is what we're so disconnected, y'all. We're so disconnected. Nathaniel better be glad it was Jesus. What would you have said, KB? What would you have said? But at the end of the day, God is connecting us back. He's connecting us back together with power, with authority, with boss energy, with the power of the Holy Ghost, with authentic frequency that can make the difference in this world. I love you guys. You just said, try Jesus, don't try me. Come on, we talked about that last week. We gonna get better. We gonna get better. Now, at the end of the day, I hope that this has blessed everybody here on tonight. I want to appreciate you again for coming in Wednesday night, 6 o'clock hour. I try to open the doors around 1:15 so you can come in and just relax before we actually start teaching at 6 o'clock. But this has been another edition of Word on Fire. We're going through the complete sayings of Jesus. I got you, KB. I got you. I love you, Joanna. I do. And you inspire me. You really do. I want you to, for those that want to get the book, it's The Complete Sayings of Jesus by Arthur, Arthur Hinds, Hinds. And we're on chapter 6. We'll be on chapter 7 next week. I love you. I really do. I see the lions roaring, MCP 812. I see you, KB Browns. To everybody that came in on tonight, and to those, I'm not able to see who's in Facebook. I do have those that are in Facebook. To register to where I can see you in the chat, you actually have to go ahead and register out there in Facebook so I can see your names. The Complete Sayings of Jesus by Arthur Hinds. It's Hinds, like Hinds feet, like a animal, Hin, or your hind haunches, Hinds. But Arthur's correct. But Scratch Wolf, thank you so much. It's good to have you in there. You just finished the Sermon on the Mount by E. Fox. Come through, Scratch Wolf. And I appreciate, and this is the space and the place where you all can come in and talk. And my goal in this setting is to definitely interact with your comments so that we can talk and grow together as we're going through the Bible study. So your interactive here is very, very, very welcome. And I try as best I can to read as many, if not all of your input and all of your thoughts. Now, this has been a great night. We're going to do chapter 7 next week for those that have the book, and for those that don't, I have to figure out a way. I can go into, everybody's not in my Discord. I'll find a way where I can get the lesson plans to you ahead of time, because I know sometimes people like to study ahead of time, especially for Bible study. So I'll figure out a way to make that happen. If we don't do it through Discord, I'll figure out something. You can always inbox me your email address and I can send you the study plans in the email, whatever way. But we'll figure that out. Come on, KB Browns. Iron sharpens iron. And that's exactly what we're doing here in this setting. I love you guys. I absolutely do. Blessings to each of you. And listen, we're going to go out the same way I always come in and out for Word on Fire. It won't be this way always. I love you. You are so welcome, Kai Chip. Karani, I see you. I see you. To come on. I love all of you guys. Sheila, KB, Scratch Wolf, One Reason, Truck Driver, all of y'all. John, my goodness. I love every last one of you. Joanna G, come through. And thank you, MCP 812, you to come on in here. I love you. I love you. I love you. This is so special to me. Appreciate you. I really do. Peace for your journey.